Robocop Rogue City may be the return of one of the baddest cops ever in cinematic history, bringing justice to old Detroit the only way that he knows how.
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
Hello, this is Heretic Prince, and I'll be pulling information from a bloody disgusting article and also an IGN article, who happened to get to play an exclusive demo and got a lot of footage on the gameplay so far. There was a trailer that was premiered at Gamescom, in which I was excited to see that there's even an appearance from the infamous Ed 209. With all the classic commands and even the roar that even Kenny could appreciate.
Please put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
I think you'd better do what he says, Mr. Kenny.
You now have 15 seconds to comply.
Now, the game does not appear to be your classic first-person shooter where you run and gun and dive for cover. Robocop himself is already all the cover he needs. The game will introduce story elements, reminiscent of Telltale games where you run into situations and you need to make decisions, which supposedly will influence your mission. The news breaks make a return, which I absolutely loved in the films, even though some of my friends were absolutely annoyed by them. And they give you a peek into the world, informing you of how crime-ridden Detroit has become, and also questioning if the citizens can entrust their safety to a machine. As much as people may think this is sacrilege, to me that's reminiscent of the Robocop reboot, which touched on the idea if citizens can honestly trust a machine pulling the trigger, in which in that movie is what motivated OCP to put a man inside the machine. Another interesting element is that Robocop will have to speak with a psychologist, Dr. Olivia Blanche, who proposes that while Robocop's body may be nearly invincible, what about his mind? Asking what name does he actually prefer? Is he Robocop or is he Alex Murphy? And in the trailers, there's glimpses of a bit of a detective mode, which reminded me a bit of Arkham Origins, where Robocop follows blood trails. He's able to scan for these things, scan for clues, and it's narrated by the legend himself, returning actor Peter Weller, who may know him from the Robocop movies themselves, or may even remember him from Sons of Anarchy. The sexy and badass Ann Lewis also appears in the game. Unfortunately, it's unknown if Nancy Allen will be reprising the role. It does seem as though the character does have her likeness, though. And possibly the most exciting news is that we don't have very long to wait. The game is currently stated to possibly be coming out in September of 2023, this year. Now, drawing back to the outside of the first-person shooter's perspective of the game, there is a point when you run into a reporter who technically broke the law, but she pleads her case to Robocop that she thinks OCP is up to something much worse than what she did, and she has the documents on her. If he turns her in, she will lose those documents, and it's up to you, as the human inside of the machine, to make the decision which one is the greater evil.
That is only suspicion.
And I need time to prove that my suspicion is true. Time and some of these documents I found. If you detain me, the SWAT jerks will requisition them.
You can go, but if you continue to disobey the law, you will be detained.
Maybe I should have treated you more like a police officer than OCP's property. Anyway, the city owes you. And I owe you too.
IGN also describes that there's a bit of a rivalry between SWAT and Robocop. While you're working together, you're in a competition. Now, if you lose, you're still a hulking robot, but if you win, there's possible rewards. Now, of course, Robocop rarely runs. He is a tank, which puts the game almost into an RPG type of style of thinking. Not in that you're after experience, but you have to select your targets carefully. When you burst into a room, you have to look for the enemies that are the biggest threats and take them out first, such as gang members with rocket launchers. While small arms fire might not do much to you, a grenade launcher might chew right through your armor. Remember, folks, you take out the healers first, then the DPS, then you wear down the tank, right? The IGN article goes over that it was kind of hard to get used to playing. In most first-person shooters, you want to get out of the way of weapons fire. In Robocop, you want to prioritize your targets and choose the right tool for the job. Now, as for where this story fits in the Robocop legacy, the game is a story that takes place between Robocop 2 and Robocop 3, which makes me believe that this game will not be quote-unquote updated for modern audiences. Fans of the Robocop movies know they already tried to update him in Robocop 2.
Well, there it is. OCP. They screwed him up.
He must be going out of his mind.
It's not as if he can just say no. They put all this nonsense into his brain. He has to obey.
Robocop decided to fry himself rather than live that life. I know that Phil, Alex Murphy. And even though it's a big risk going against the grain, at least he got to be his own man again.
All right, come on, stand him up. All right, come on, let's go. Here it is.
Are we cops?
Now, for those of you who might be interested, there's even an option if you go to Steam to sign up for the closed beta. There is no option to pre-order as of yet, but you can at least add it to your wish list for updates on when the game might get a release date to the day, or when pre-order becomes available. The Steam page states that you will go into battle with your Auto 9, of course that's the classic handgun Robocop has, or one of other 20 weapons available. Your robotic strength and cybernetic abilities are also at your disposal. The Steam page also says, quote, explore open areas and complete your objectives according to your own sense of justice. Finding evidence, interrogation, and maintaining public order or just some of your daily tasks as a police officer. But don't take decisions lightly. Your choices can determine the fate of citizens and the result of your mission. As of yet, the system requirements are to be announced. According to the Bloody Disgusting article, Robocop Rogue City will be released for PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC via Steam and Epic Games. While I am excited for this game, I'm approaching it with a cautious optimism. Games and media overall haven't been incredible thus far. Yet, I admit, I am a bit of a sucker for nostalgia bait. I will be looking forward to hearing more about this game and what all it has in store for us. What do you think? Do you think this game can possibly live up to the hype? Do you think it could live up to the legacy of Robocop? Or will it let us down? Do you think a first-person shooter can work when you're sluggish? Or is it about time to be the powerhouse on the battlefield? If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like and a comment and possibly even consider following. This has been Heretic Prince. Thank you for listening and letting me share my thoughts with you.